as it finishes then Lens 2, Arsenal 1. Let's just remind them how things stand after these opening two matches in Group B. Good news for Arsenal is that Sevilla drew 2-2 against PSV, so Arteta's side remains second, 1 point off Lens, and of course the Premier League side still favourites to qualify. Gab, I know you were keeping an eye on this one. Big deal?
Well, I think it is a big deal. Certainly the biggest deal is Saka going off. It's not as if they aren't playing anybody good this coming weekend. I think in terms of how they played, I think we have to give a little bit of credit to Lens here. We saw Ellie Wise finish there at the end. They were up for it. They were really, really pushed on. Tremendous home support. And I think it's a reminder, too, that, Arsenal are a young team that's trying to play with a different formation, with Havertz asked to do something that he wasn't doing last year, the last couple of years at Chelsea. And there's still going to be teething problems. And you don't take anything for granted, I think, if you're Arteta, but certainly right now, sweating on Saka's finish ahead of that game against City.
Yeah, given the nature of the group and given that he was taken off at the weekend, should he have started this tie?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It depends. The discussions that were had between... I mean, this was a big game, Champions League.
Sort it out.
Away from home.
We're seeing the red zone, the green zone.
Bearing in mind the guy is predominantly somebody who plays a lot of games anyway, so he's a tough cookie. Right?
Yes,
we know he's a tough guy.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of knocks, takes a lot of raps to the Achilles and the calf, like a lot of wide players, but he's a big, strong boy, as well as being a good player. So we know he can take that. He clearly... They thought he was fit enough to play. I think Arteta said he back-heeled the ball or something. He felt something. Again, it's a bit back to the Man United scenario. You've got a huge game this weekend. You've got to handle it. Now, Trossard is back fit. Again, Martinelli is not. So you could juggle things up. Emil Smith-Rowe is back available these days and he's getting some game time off the bench. Or maybe you push Kai Havertz further forward, where most of us think he should be anyway, if he plays. Rather than been playing that slightly deeper role. So there are options there, but there's nobody that can do the job that Saka can do. And particularly when you're playing a City side that have started to look a bit vulnerable in their back line. At left back, Ake played left side against Wolves and got a roasting from Pedro Neto at the weekend at times. Now, I'm not suggesting he'll play, but they've had some issues in that position. And obviously Saka, if he's not playing, that's a big thorn out of Man City's side at the weekend.
And this may not be a talking point or a decision that Arteta's going to end up making or not, but if I'm Ramsdale, I'm sitting back and going, well, hold on a second, I thought we were playing because this guy could play out of the box.
He can come in for Saka?
Sure, you do that. I thought this guy had it all figured out with his feet. And look, Raya's not going to be taken off because of this. But I'm just saying that this conversation about the goalkeepers is not done just yet, because the moment that David Raya, and I think that's a larger conversation, makes another mistake, then you're like, well, do we go back to the other guy or do we keep this guy? And you started now a conversation that you didn't need to have. Right. You've opened up a whole can of worms that you didn't need to open, and now every time that David Raya makes a mistake, then Ramsdale is going to they're going to focus on him on the bench going, well, I thought this was if you made a mistake, then you come off the field and I go in, because goalkeeping position is just like any other position, right? Isn't that how it works? Apparently not.
You've got Anana doing the same thing, brought in because De Gea he was making some mistakes with his hands at the end, but he was certainly deemed not to be good enough with his feet. And he's passing hospital balls out to all and sundry. But the other side of that is, when David Raya is perceived to be better with his feet than Ramsdale, who I don't think is terrible with his feet. But looking at that goal there, that was a great goal from a Lens perspective, but Raya doesn't have the stature of Ramsdale. Ramsdale's a much bigger, taller, more of a wingspan. There's an argument to say he might have saved something like that. I saw him make some absolutely tremendous saves last year. Ramsdale, tip of the finger stuff. And I think, whilst they did not lose to Lens because of David Raya alone, I go back to this point. This was a very, very big and harsh decision on somebody who was terrific, for the most part, for Arsenal last year. So as Ali said, watch this space.